Hello everyone, welcome back. It feels like forever since I filmed and I really missed you guys. I hope you've been well. Today we have one of my favorite kinds of smoky eyes. This is the Halo Spotlight Tulip placement, whatever you like to call it, and it's great for making the eyes look much larger. Now this tutorial is featuring the brand new Urban Decay Naked Smoky, which, spoiler alert, is as epic as the previous Naked palettes. Definitely something you need in your life. Before we start, very quickly, two things, very exciting. Number one, I don't know if this is common knowledge, but I haven't heard anyone talking about it. Urban Decay is launching a store in Sydney Airport. Even more exciting, I will be hosting an event at the Urban Decay store at the Sydney Airport on the 30th of October. I will leave all of the specifics and the time and the place in the description box, but I would love it if you would come by and we can hug and chat and maybe I can do your makeup and it'll be heaps of fun. So if you're in the area, please come by, I would love to see you. If you would like to see how I created this halo smoky eye using the Urban Decay Naked Smoky, then keep on watching. So today we're starting with the eyes, priming the eyelids with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. This is definitely one of the strongest eye primers on the market, fab for oily lids or for those of us who struggle with smudging. The primer is quite grippy in finish, so I like to buff some face powder or flesh eyeshadow from the socket to the brow so that our crease color blends effortlessly. So before we start, let's take a closer look at the Naked Smoky palette. Urban Decay excels at that shimmer and metallic formula, so obviously we're going to have a great range of iridescent shades. The palette also has 4 matte shades, which is a step up from the previous Naked palettes. I adore this matte formula. They blend without even trying. The previous Naked palettes ran quite warm, and although there are a handful of warm shades here, the color story is definitely on the cooler side, which I think is a really nice change. Let me tell you, online swatches just don't do this justice. Make sure you go and play with it in store. Cool beans, we're gonna take Combust first. I really struggle to describe this shade. It's a little bit pinky and a little bit beige, but it makes for a fantastic transition color. So this step will ensure that our edges will remain soft and hazy, even when we layer some darker hues. Next, grab a pointed crease brush and the shade Whiskey, which is a deep, warm brown. Let's start to map out our halo placement by carving the outer corner of the eye. Keep your pressure quite light at first, and then you can slowly build until the color is to your desired intensity. Go ahead and shade the inner socket in much the same way. Now here you can lightly bridge the shading in the center of the crease, if you like. Just make sure that the inner and outer corners are by far the darkest. Feel free to skip this bit, but I am all about that drama. So I'm etching some black shadow into both the inner and the outer socket. Keep the black placement really small. Don't overblend this step or you'll lose that epic gradient. I find it wise to map out the central lid highlight now so that when we continue with our dark shades, we know what area to avoid. So using any white pencil, create a stripe on the ball of the eyelid and slightly diffuse the edges with a finger. We're gonna come back to that guy a little later on. Onto the shade Smolder, a very deep purple, and patting that shade over the inner and the outer third of the mobile lid, steering well away from that little white stripe we got going on. Hopefully you can see a bit of a halo shape starting to form here. So here comes the fun bit. Dip a brush into a pale shimmery shade and then spray the brush with a setting spray. This gives a brilliant foiled shine and they will be able to see your highlight from space. That is a scientific fact. If you're feeling a graphic placement, you can absolutely leave it there. I want a bit of a smoother transition, so adding some pale gold on either side of that highlight, blending into the purple a bit. Slight change of pace. I'm adding the under eye concealer so that I can go ahead and blend that lower lash line to infinity and beyond. The Urban Decay Naked Concealer won first prize in my Undereye Concealer Smackdown number 3. Have you guys seen that yet? I'm gonna link it in the description box. Blending the concealer with the brush that actually comes with the Naked Smoky palette works beautifully for eyeshadow and also concealer. Just whizzing through the base and the brows here, you've seen it before, patting the foundation with a finger. Oh, what's that? A brushed up brow. Wow, surprise, surprise. Back to business. Give the lashes a quick curl and tightline the upper lash line so that the lash bed looks intense and inky. Now I have a little addition to the typical halo eye. It looks a little bit alien and I kind of love it. So run some black liner on the inner and outer third of the lower waterline, leaving a little gap in the center. Then back to our white pencil on the center of the waterline and dragging that color down onto the lash line. The rest of the shading pretty much mirrors the top lid, but I love that the lower lash line becomes a feature in this look because it's perfect for heavy eyelids like mine or hooded eyelids. That lower lash line is always visible. Winning! Make sure to blend the edges of the lower lash line until your arm hurts. We want the outer perimeter of the eye to be blown out and hazy. Add your pale shimmery shadow to the center of the lash line. I didn't use the pale gold on the lower lash line simply because I am enjoying that stark impact, but you do you. Finishing off the eyes with some liquid liner, I wanted to do a little wing and it actually came out as a little wing. Guys, that never happens. Usually my hands are like, lol, no, eyeliner out to your temples. Lots of mascara, particularly on the bottom lashes, to frame that interesting shading. You might want to skip false lashes if you have a small lid space. They could potentially obscure your hard work. However, I am a false lash addict, so clearly I will apply a pair. That, my friends, is the eyes done. Now let's quickly finish off the rest of the face. Often a dark, bold eye can drain the complexion, so I'm adding a bit of warm pink blush. Working from the same palette, a bit of bronzer around the temple and the hairline. A little warmth on the face I think pairs nicely with a cooler eye. The third portion of this palette is a highlight, which I'm running across the cheekbones, a little on the cupid's bow, and also around the tear duct. Now just a touch here, we don't want to cover our black eyeshadow, but you can still work in a tear duct highlight in a halo eye. Heads up to those of you who own the Naked 2 palette, the shade Tease is so perfect for precise cheekbone contouring. I want the eyes to steal the show, so for the lips, I'm going for a translucent nudie pink sort of lipstick and defining the cupid's bow with a neutral lip liner. Lucky last step, spray the entire face with a setting spray. Urban Decay makes my all-time favorite. Love the all-nighter, love the chill makeup setting spray. Everything stays put, even in humid weather or long days. I paired this look with a messy French braid for a casual touch, and voila, done. As I said earlier, this is my favorite kind of smoky eye, and I love the monochromatic effect of the new Naked palette. I hope you are feeling inspired. Definitely check the description box. If you can make it to the Urban Decay event, there are no words to describe how excited I am right now. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will speak to you very soon. Bye-bye.